looksmaxxing. It has recently blown up and become an extremely popular topic for young men. For the guys who are wondering, how do I become more attractive? Why can't I attract girls? What's the answer? While looksmaxxing, literally maximizing your looks as much as possible, it sounds enticing. It sounds like it's the answer for so many young men who are struggling with either dating or self-image, confidence. And this video is not me trying to say, oh, you shouldn't want to attract women. It's bad to want to look better, because that's definitely not true. Becoming more attractive will obviously help you with getting girls and gaining confidence, which is a good thing, but the fact is you don't need looksmaxxing. You really don't need it to get the majority of the results that you want. The problem with looksmaxxing is that it takes the big 80% of things that only give you the 20% of the results that you actually want, and it mixes it in with all of the good stuff, the 20% that gets you real results. Which is why in this video, I'm going to be showing you the 20% that really matters, the 20% that's going to get you real results. The things that really matter are not the short-term glow-up tips that you see everywhere. It's not the little product in the description that you can buy that is somehow going to change your life. There is no magic pill for becoming more attractive. It's difficult. And that's why most of the things that actually work are the more long-term, more difficult things. And I'm going to break down what those things are in this video. The first and most important step for glowing up is lifting for aesthetics. You can literally go from a 4 or 5 out of 10 to becoming a 7 out of 10 just by getting an attractive aesthetic physique. This is a picture of me when I was very skinny and had absolutely no muscle. Obviously, part of the problem was that my physique wasn't attractive. It wasn't flattering or powerful in any way. And I didn't feel good when I looked in the mirror shirtless. So when I started lifting weights and I gained muscle, I got so much more confident in my physique and in my body. I actually like how I look now when I take my shirt off and I look at myself in the mirror. I'm always posing and admiring the work because it takes a lot of hard work to build muscle. So how do you actually lift to get an aesthetic physique? Lifting for aesthetics involves training in a specific way. The way you train is more intentional than power building or power lifting. You're going to be training like a bodybuilder because it's not about the weight, it's about how you perform the exercises. There are two things that are very important when you're trying to lift for aesthetics. And the first is your intensity. You want to be going to failure for almost every set. And I know the science says that, oh, you don't really have to go to failure. You can go 1 or 2 away from failure and you'll still get the same amount of muscle growth. But I think that pushing yourself to that limit is important because it doesn't just give you more muscle, it actually helps you build confidence because you are actually training hard. You are doing something difficult that in the beginning you don't want to do. You don't want to be going to failure. So number 1, go to failure. And number 2, control the weight. Make sure that you're prioritizing form and cadence and control over the weight that you're using. There are so many times when I catch my ego getting the better of me. I'm doing a weight that is much too heavy for me. I can't control it. My form's not good. And this is not good for muscle growth. The contraction isn't going to be as good. You're going to be just throwing the weight around just because your ego wants you to lift heavy. And yes, it is very important to progress in either reps or weight in basically every workout. That's how you're going to build muscle and strength. But you shouldn't be forcing yourself to go to a weight that you actually can't do or control. Humble yourself in the gym. Do a weight that you know you can control that is actually going to get you the most muscle growth, even though you're going to let down your ego a little bit. Also, lifting for aesthetics, you want to be going pretty heavy, but being able to get probably like 6 to 12 or even maybe more than that sometimes for certain exercises, and getting a good contraction every single time you perform the exercise. So when you're training for muscle gain, it's going to be very intentional. You're going to be tactically destroying your muscles. So have high intensity and good form and cadence. Prioritize those things. And also for aesthetics, these muscle groups on the screen are going to be the best for increasing your aesthetic look. Now, that doesn't mean you don't train legs or any other body part that's not on there. It just means that you can give those a little bit more focus and attention if you want to. But you should be on a split where you're training your whole body throughout the week, not just the muscles that are going to make you look more attractive. If you pair this style of training with a moderate amount of volume, you'll get really good progress. I remember asking the question when I first started, how many sets should I be doing? Should it be 3 or 4? Now I know that it should be 2 or 3 sets per exercise because you don't need that much volume if you're training very intensely and going to failure. You don't want to overtrain. You actually do want to recover and have rest days. So get a split that works for you. Something else that is very important is being in a calorie surplus. So right now, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you think, I don't want to bulk, I don't want to gain any more weight, I want to cut down. You might either be fat or skinny fat. And I would say even in most cases, especially if you're younger, you should still gain first, start gaining some muscle while maintaining the same weight and kind of doing a body recomp and then bulking up. Because if you cut down right away, you're going to have no muscle. Before before you even start training, you're already trying to cut down on weight. It's so hard to gain muscle if you're in a calorie deficit, if you're losing weight and not really getting that much protein in. I would say the way to go is for the first few years to be in a slight calorie surplus, to be in a lean bulk. So you're actually gaining the most amount of muscle you can without gaining a ton of fat along the way. You're inevitably going to gain fat if you're bulking and being in a calorie surplus, but you're definitely going to look much better when you cut down in the future. If you pair all of this that I just talked about with consistency over a long period of time, that is the most important thing. Even if you don't train like an insane amount, just train consistently. That is the thing that is going to get you the most results in the end. And it is so worth it if you stick to it. Because after a long enough amount of time, you will have a jacked physique that you are proud of. Even if you are lifting though, you still can't really see all that muscle unless you get lean. It doesn't matter if you're training for aesthetics if you don't have a low enough body fat percentage to see all your muscles. Being lean and conditioned is what's going to show off your aesthetic physique. Your muscles are going to pop, you're going to have six-pack abs, you're going to look amazing if you're at a low body fat percentage. But this kind of goes against what I just talked about, how you should bulk up before you cut down. This is where it gets difficult because you're not going to look good for a long time. You're sacrificing for the future you, the you that's going to look much more attractive. You kind of have to put in the work, bulk up, gain the muscle first, and then you can cut down and sculpt, or else you are not going to look that good. It's probably going to be difficult for a long time to look at yourself in the mirror and probably not see abs for 2-3 years. But like I said, this is the long-term process, the difficult things. If you do this, in the end, you are going to look probably 2 times better than you did when you started. But eventually, having that low body fat percentage is what's going to show everyone else your hard work. But in order to actually achieve a good-looking physique and eventually become lean, you have to diet correctly. When you are a beginner lifter, you gain muscle the fastest. So in order to capitalize off this, eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight. When you do this and train in the way I talked about and also are eating in a calorie surplus, you are going to gain so much more muscle quicker. I know that you probably at first, when you first start going to the gym, you probably want to be lean, you want to have six-pack abs, you want to be shredded, but you can't get that until you actually have a good looking physique, because even if you do have abs, you're going to have no muscle if you just cut down right away. This is a humbling part of the process for so many people, and I know being someone who's always been lean, I don't understand what that is like, but it is something you have to go through if you want to actually maximize your gains. Obviously, if you're having health problems because of your weight or something, yes, don't get into a calorie surplus. It makes no sense. It's obviously your choice. It's your body, your health. You can decide to do a body recomposition and just main gain for a while if you want. You can choose to be in a calorie surplus if you want. I'm just saying that in order to gain the most muscle in the shortest amount of time, you probably want to be in a calorie surplus. And if you're a skinny guy like I was, the key is to just eat more. Those 2 words, eat more. Whenever you're not gaining weight, eat more. If you keep that mentality and get enough protein in, you're going to start gaining the weight and actually gaining more muscle, and you're not going to be a skinny little twig anymore. But even if you want to, do not dirty bulk. Do not gain a bunch of fat just because you want to eat unhealthy foods and you say, oh, I'm bulking. I can do whatever I want, right? I'm just bulking. I can have all these Cheerios and these Cheetos and all these disgusting foods because you said that, oh, I just need to eat more. I just need to gain weight. You actually gain just a little bit more muscle if you're dirty bulk compared to lean bulking. So lean bulking is way more effective. Have the discipline to lean bulk. Don't just say, because I'm bulking, I get to just eat a bunch of unhealthy foods. Your diet should consist of mostly whole foods, 1 ingredient foods, because that's what's the best for you. Achieve your fitness goals through your diet, but in a healthy way. Not in a way that makes absolutely no sense. If you're just like tanking your health so that you can get a minimal amount more muscle, it just doesn't make any sense. Have the discipline, eat a clean diet. So if it makes sense for you, and especially if you're a teenager, don't try to cut, don't try to lose weight or anything, be in a lean bulk, pairing this with the right training for aesthetics, and then eventually cutting down to get lean. This is what's going to get you the best end result in the future. The best thing that you can do is improve your diet and improve your skincare. When you're having high processed foods with trans fat, with sugar, with high calories, and all of these terrible things into these chemicals, it's going to be absolutely destroying your skin. It's going to be causing acne outbreaks. It's just going to be terrible for your skin. So if you want to improve your skin, improve your diet. Eat mostly whole foods. Which whole foods you decide to eat, that's up to you. Honestly, diet is probably different for everyone. The best diet for me is not going to be the best diet for you, but what I know is that eating whole foods, that is definitely good for everyone. Getting rid of the junk food and taking it out of your diet and replacing it with mostly whole foods is what will improve your skin and your acne a lot. And as for skincare, all you really need is a cleanser and a moisturizer. And then for the morning, a good SPF moisturizer. Honestly, I've yet to find a 100% clean, effective product or brand that I really like for skincare, but I'll definitely be doing a lot of research in that area for the future. I'll be making a video on that and probably some of the other things like shampoo and the products we use every single day. Fix your diet, get a simple skincare routine, and that should clear up your acne a lot and make your skin look a lot better. One of the easiest ways to become more attractive is just to get a better haircut. Right now, my hair is super long. I'm probably gonna get a buzz in the soon future, so I don't really know if I have room to talk about this. But honestly, my hair used to look terrible. I would sometimes have this like weird middle part. It would sometimes be just a absolute bowl cut. It looked horrendous. And that's probably why I got absolutely no attention from women until like middle school. But your haircut, like lifting, even though it's super quick, short term, you just have to figure out what works for you. If you get a really good haircut, or if your haircut's really bad and you make it a lot better, it can help improve your looks so much. Getting a middle part, growing my hair out, it made my hair just look so much better. I think you should honestly just start experimenting with your hair if you really don't like it. Like, if you don't like how it looks right now, and you probably think that other people don't like how it looks either, why not just try different things? And also, a lot of times, a shorter haircut, a fade will look good on different types of people. Honestly, I think when you look more feminine, it looks better longer. Like, I look a little bit feminine. I don't look super ultra masculine. If you look really masculine and you can like rock a fade or something, then do it because it probably looks good on you. I was so scared to change up my hair, but if you're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, this does not look good, make a change. Grow it out, get a haircut, do something. Because there's a lot of potential there, but you're kind of squashing it by doing nothing. Mewing has become very popular, where you just put your tongue on the roof of your mouth, and that doing that for a long enough period of time will make your face shape different. There hasn't been much research in that area. I think it can have benefit for facial attractiveness, but I don't know to what extent. The thing that I do know that is well researched is nasal breathing. It can literally change the structure of your face. If you've ever seen a mouth breather, you know that like their face is not very attractive. They're usually like they're like wheezing. Like their breath is short. Their face is kind of like protruding out. Like this part of their jaw is protruding over their lower part of their jaw. Their jawline is messed up. It doesn't look good. They have a big protruding forehead. It's not a good look to be a mouth breather. And you probably aren't an exclusive chronic mouth breather, but you also probably didn't know that nasal breathing is just that much better for you. You get more oxygen to your brain, so it's literally better for your overall health, for everything you do. Nasal breathing ensures that your jaw structure actually develops correctly, which means you probably should just try to be nasal breathing at all times. Obviously, when you're doing super strenuous exercise, when you're like sprinting or something, you're not going to be nasal breathing. Or when you're talking like I am right now, I kind of take breaths in between. I try to do it through my nose, but sometimes like right there, I just took a breath through my mouth. There are obviously some times where you're not going to nasal breathe, but just try to do it most of the time because it's infinitely times better for you. And it's going to literally morph your face shape and make you more attractive. And also something that you probably didn't know is that you can force yourself to nasal breathe at night. If you have problems with snoring or mouth breathing at night and you wake up, you're feeling like your mouth is super dry, you can actually tape your mouth closed before you go to bed so that you force yourself to nasal breathe. You can do this with medical tape, or you can do it with some sort of product online. There's like lots of mouth tape products out there. You can get one of these, and I'm probably gonna start doing this again. I stopped a while ago. I don't actually know if I mouth breathe at night, but it's good to ensure that you are nasal breathing throughout the entire night because it's just healthier for you, especially if you are a chronic like mouth breather, or maybe you just snore at night, or you realize that your mouth is super dry in the morning. You should probably try this because it will slowly start to improve your face structure. You're gonna get more oxygen to your brain. It's gonna be just so much better for you. And I know the first time you probably hear this, like taping your mouth closed at night, it sounds like psychotic, it sounds weird, but it works. So you should probably try that if you feel like it'd be useful for you if you snore at night, or you know that you're a mouth breather at night. And just remember that nasal breathing is always better. It is superior, and that you should probably be doing it at all times. While I have been talking about improving your looks this entire time, your looks isn't everything when it comes to attractiveness, which is why meditation is the best practice that doesn't really improve your looks at all, but actually is extremely good for your attractiveness. And I know this is probably where I start losing some people. You might be saying, what is this guy talking about? How is meditation gonna make me more attractive just sitting still and doing nothing? But just stay with me as I explain this. Maybe you're talking to a girl you like that you think is really attractive and that also finds you attractive. And so maybe this is some girl at school or something, whatever. So you're talking to this girl and you want to get to know her, and you know she likes you, but she's not listening. You can tell she's not listening. You can tell she's like mind wandering. Her eye contact is not on you. And even though she's giving like some responses, she's distracted. She's checking her phone for messages, and you're trying to talk to her, but she's not really there with you. At this point, even though you wanted to get to know her before, are you going to pursue her? Probably not. One of the most unattractive things is giving someone else the impression that you don't think they're important. You've probably had this problem many times before without realizing it. In everyday interactions with people you know, your friends, your family, you've probably been distracted distracted by something, mind wandering, thinking about something else, checking your phone while someone is talking to you. What you're basically doing here is saying, you and what you have to say, that's not important to me. I have more important things to think about and to do. Even if that's not the message that you're trying to get over to someone, even if you do care about them and what they have to say, that's what it looks like. And they are going to pick up on that either consciously or unconsciously. So how does all of this relate to meditation? Well, meditation is literally the practice of you being undistracted, of being present. In a distraction age, it's very important and very attractive to be able to be present with somebody else, to give someone your full attention without you mind wandering or getting distracted. Imagine that same scenario. That girl is asking you some questions. She's really interested in you, but you're just on your phone. You're checking your phone, you're mind wandering. You can't even focus on her in the conversation. These thoughts are popping up in your head and you just can't help but get distracted. And she's standing there thinking, oh, maybe he's not really that interested in me. Why is he not even listening to me? And if you would have just been present, things would have gone so much better. You would have seen so much more attractive because you would have been there. You would have actually been there and not somewhere else. I would start meditating through the app Medito. I've been using it for a long time and I've found it very, very helpful. The most important thing is that you just consistently do it. And even if you start with 30 seconds, you can progressively overload from there and start moving up and up and up. This will help you build the skill of mindfulness, of presence, and help you be much less distracted throughout your day and throughout your conversations, so that eventually when you are talking to a girl that you like, you are actually there. You're making eye contact and you're being present in the conversation. This whole video would be useless and there would be no point to becoming more attractive if you weren't the real you, if you're trying to be someone else. And I know this is the most cliche advice, but it's the most true advice, because you have to be yourself in order for you to attract a girl that is actually the right girl for you, a girl that actually likes you for who you are. This means you cannot fake it till you make it. You can't act like someone else to attract a girl, because even if you do end up succeeding and attracting a girl by acting differently than you actually are, she's not going to be attracted to you. She's attracted to the you that you've made up, that you've made her to believe is the real you. It will never work out because they're not going to know the real you. They're just going to know the fake you. Even if you want to fit in and have everyone like you and be, more attractive and likable by acting in a certain way, it's not going to work out because everyone is just going to be disliking or liking a version of you that isn't you. Every compliment, every insult is one step removed because you're not actually that person. You're projecting a fake you, and so no one knows who you really are. And when you're scared of letting people know the real you and you're shutting yourself off and telling people that you believe in different things than you actually do and hiding your own ideas, you will never attract the people that you really want in your life that actually like you for you. Stop taking the advice of all these dumbass red pill YouTubers trying to get you to do all these different things, act like you aren't who you really are to attract a girl, because it never works out in the long run. It won't be a meaningful relationship. None of this pickup advice actually works even when you think it does. To actually have a long-lasting, meaningful relationship, I know it sounds obvious, but you need to attract a girl that likes you, that doesn't want you to change and actually cares about what you care about. Find and express the real you. Figure out what you really like, what you really believe, what you really want, and express those things. And then you will actually attract the right girl. Looksmaxxing is mostly BS. If you just do these things, you will see 80% of the results without the 80% of BS and bad advice. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you liked the video, scroll down, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Join me in this movement as I try to lead our generation into a better future. And as always, never stop improving. You'll be grateful for it later.